So what is this that I hear that Drake lost another million streams? The fuck? What is this that I hear that you guys are talking about Kendrick not being in the GOAT conversation because he doesn't have enough albums? The fuck? Like what is this? What are we doing here? What is the point of these conversations? Well, I know about the Drake one, but Kendrick not being in the GOAT conversation because he doesn't have enough albums? Okay. How's it going, Jtomreactions community and YouTube? It's your boy Jtomreactions, and I'm back. I am back with a vengeance, with another edition of Jtomreactions. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, the fuck are these conversations about? Oh, Kendrick shouldn't be in the GOAT conversation because he doesn't have enough albums, bro. Are you fucking serious? Tupac doesn't have that many albums. Who else? Biggie didn't have that many albums. So what is okay? So just because Kendrick beat your GOAT, just because Kendrick beat your GOAT, right? He shouldn't be in the GOAT conversation. That's what's really going on here. But yeah, YoEq has this video for it. That was my intro. Again, I'm back with a vengeance. I really don't give a fuck anymore. But I still am gonna give you my input on a lot of the topics that are happening. If like seriously, I don't give a fuck anymore. The fuck? I don't. But my content is still gonna be a lot better than what it has been. Just what happened kind of twisted, the way that I view things now. Again, just because I piss somebody off and I talk about the truth, I get, hacked to the point where, I had to delete my Facebook, had to delete my Instagram, had to delete my ex because of, well, I deleted my ex a long time ago, but just a lot of the shit that, I talk about on this channel, like, is my truth. And for me to be hacked because I speak my truth, really? That's what's going to happen, right? So let me just go ahead and continue doing that because I only have like a certain amount of subscribers, and for me to be able to ruffle feathers, it means something in that, in my opinion. But anyways, YoEq has this video for us, and if you guys want to become a part of this wonderful community that I'm building here in the Jtomreactions community, y'all go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, share with your family and friends. Also, don't forget to hit that hype button because the hype button will get me further into the algorithm. And that's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. I ruffled feathers, I got into the algorithm, and people didn't like what I had to say. So, YoEq, I'm going to let you go ahead and tell us what exactly is going on with this. YoEq. YoEq, Jtomreactions, you already know, man. Let's fucking go. Let's go.
Alrighty, guys. Welcome back. It's your boy EQ. And up next, we have Drake losing 1 million listeners in a day on his monthly listeners, plus a quote-unquote fan claiming that Kendrick Lamar can't be in the GOAT discussion because he's only dropped 6 albums in 15 years. And before I start, definitely go fucking Knicks, man. I'm so excited. It has been a very long time coming. And yeah, that's probably...
Hey, shout out to the Knicks, man. For real. Shout out to the Knicks, because I'm a Rockets fan and I hate the fucking Spurs. Hey, one more time. One more time. Let's go. Hey, Spurs. Let's go.
The reason why I didn't drop yesterday because my voice was gone. And what a fantastic day for the underdog. But this over here is such a dumb take. Biggie dropped 2 albums and Pac dropped 5 while he was still alive. Obviously, there's a bunch of posthumous albums after his death. But both of those artists are in many people's GOAT conversations. So let me know in the comments if you guys think they, along with Kendrick Lamar, deserve to be disqualified from the GOAT conversation. And I absolutely don't think that's really the case at all. So I'm really interested in hearing how that guy spins that narrative. But Kendrick Lamar is one of the most decorated artists of all time. But hey, some people want to eat McChickens all day. As far as Drake losing 1 million listeners in a day,
Kendrick is one of the most decorated hip hop artists of all time. If y'all pay attention, the man has, I don't know how many Grammys. He passed Jay-Z for the amount of Grammy that he had. He's one of the most decorated. He has a whole bunch of BET awards as well. He won Grammys, plural, for a diss track that he did to your GOAT. So what the fuck do you mean? What do you mean that he can't be in the GOAT conversation? Again, only because he beat your glorious king? The fuck? All right, let's go.
I pretty much expected this, and yeah, there's a simple explanation. He dropped his album, so of course his monthly listeners was going to drop once that cycle actually turned over, since the calendar keeps revolving. Something that Drake stans definitely did not want to admit to when it came to Kendrick Lamar. But these numbers are going to continue to drop to some extent. And also let me know if you guys think that any botting that may have been alleged could have led to.
Also, the video that came out a couple days ago, I was going to react to it, but then I accidentally saw the video. Actually, curiosity got the best of me, and I went to go look at that video. And Drake was being botted, or Drake was paying somebody to bot his music, which is crazy considering he made a song talking about botting. He talking against botting. So the amount of hypocrisy that comes from the OVO side is crazy. But let's go.
This including a very direct accusation from one of his alleged botters who basically admitted that, yeah, Drake is one of my biggest clients, if not his biggest one. So again, let me know if you guys think that could have all played a factor. But like I said, we can expect for the monthly listeners to drop at least a bit more the further we get away from the release of the projects. And while this is honestly normal for it to actually happen, Drake stans immediately jumped out the window to bring Kendrick Lamar into the conversation. So enough dilly-dallying.
As
Let's jump right
always.
into these videos and posts where we have Drake losing 1 million listeners in a day on his monthly listeners, plus a quote-unquote fan claiming Kendrick Lamar can't be in the GOAT discussion because he's only dropped 6 albums in 15 years. And a statement like that definitely makes me question whether somebody's a hip-hop fan or a Drake fan, because a lot of these Drake fans or Drake stans aren't really necessarily fans of the genre, they're just fans of Drake. And just to pose another question to you guys, do you guys think that out of those 6 albums, are there any misses in there, or are they all great or classic in your eye? All right, but here we have.
I believe, Yoey, that a lot of those songs are not skips. Like, whenever I listen to a Kendrick Lamar album, I listen to the whole thing. Like, there's no skip. Whenever I was listening to Drake, that was like when he first started back in the day, there were a lot of songs that I would skip because they didn't have what I was looking for. And I always thought that Drake music wasn't for me. And I've always been the type of person that liked lyric, you know? So listening to the music that he used to drop, I always believed that his music wasn't for me, but I would listen to it, you know, trying to give him a chance. I like to give artists chance. And for me, after his 3rd or 4th album, I forgot the number of albums that he dropped before I stopped listening, I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't give him any more chance. And like with Kendrick Lamar, I never did that. I never skipped, because it was all music with substance. It, like, all the music had something, whether it was a story, whether it was comedy behind it, or like there was always something that caught my attention with Kendrick, whether it was the way that he used his voice as an instrument, there was always something. And I always found Drake very monotone, which is another reason why I stopped listening to Drake, you know? I don't know, but do I think that Kendrick Lamar music, whenever it comes down to listening to his albums, if there are any skips, I barely, if not even, skip through any of the music. I listen. There aren't any skips in my opinion. Let's continue.
The post, Drake becomes the first artist in Spotify's history to reach 100 million monthly listeners and not increase in listeners the next day. Yeah, and the only person to get to like 110 million in rap anyway is obviously Kendrick Lamar. He lost over 1 million listeners yesterday. All right, guys, let's actually look at some of these comments. But again, this is obviously due to many factors. One being that, yeah, the fact that he dropped his album, a month ago, pretty much guaranteed that he was going to have a loss of monthly listeners. Because why? A lot of the people that listened to the project the first time around weren't necessarily Drake stans. Yeah, you had a lot of casuals just giving it a shot because it was plastered literally everywhere. But you also had a lot of people analyzing to see if he was dissing anybody. And spoiler alert, he was obviously dissing a lot of people. Kendrick Lamar being the person that probably got dissed the most on there. So this was not unexpected.
Kendrick Lamar was definitely on Drake's mind.
The fuck?
Oh, man.
Or surprising at all. But let's actually look at what the people are saying about all this. All right, we have Certified Boogeyman. Big shout out to him. Damn Crow. All right, let's see.
The Aubrey album, White Man? For real? Damn, Champagne Poppy, they say them songs that you just streamed off your new project, White Man, say that shit ain't dope. The comments crazy.
Well, and it wasn't even from like the quote unquote Kendrick Lamar fans or the Drake haters. A lot of people did genuinely feel underwhelmed. I do a lot of videos, guys, and the amount of people saying that, hey, I'm a Drake fan, but this isn't really what I was expecting, or them complaining about how much stuff there was to process. Yeah, obviously they felt underwhelmed, and that's probably why a lot of people didn't go back to the project. Honestly, this loss of monthly listeners could also be due to that. Maybe a lot of people didn't want to come back and revisit it.
Also, if you go, you can even search it on TikTok. Just search Iceman review. You'll find a whole bunch of people on TikTok talking major shit about it. And they could be like, oh yeah, I'm a Drake fan, but I didn't like it, to be honest. Like it would be hundreds of people, thousands of people. You'll find thousands of video of people talking shit about it. Just go on TikTok, just one day, go down that rabbit hole. Oh man, let's go.
All right, this is like when they said the song was the most streamed of the day, then the song disappeared into oblivion, never heard of again.
Right.
Obviously, and big shout out to Whipping Feet, always something fishy, allegedly. As far as this anyway, and big shout out to Hip Hop Clips as well. Yeah, it was pretty much expected. But that doesn't mean that there couldn't have been other shenanigans that led to those big streams first day. Again, if there's a lot of botting on there and you stop that, obviously that's another reason you're going to get an even bigger loss of monthly listeners. Drake loses over 1 million listeners overnight and folks ain't got questions. Oh, best believe. People definitely have questions, guys. And this person over here is like one of the high priestesses.
No, and see, what gets me, right, is why don't the Drake fans question? Why don't the people that cope for Drake, why don't they question? Why are you losing so many streams every single day? You know, that and it's not just 1,000 streams. It's not just 100,000 streams. 1 million streams overnight. 1 million streams overnight. Come on.
Of the OVHOites. The word we can't say on YouTube, but they love to say those words. All right, your post would have been a banger in 2024, LOL. It's crazy how you can just point out the facts and these people will find a reason to act as if this is like some type of misinformation. No, you cannot really refute these facts. It is what it is. Nope. And there's pretty much a simple explanation, which I gave. But like I always say, guys, you can't use reasoning and logic with somebody that didn't use reasoning and logic to get to their perspective. Battling a brick wall. All right, all bad and still no word from Sophie. And yeah, for Drake making fun of somebody else's baby moms, and you can't even say that because at this point, they're basically married at that point. But saying that Rihanna isn't even tweeting out the album, when obviously your baby moms ain't doing it either. And also given the fact that she's getting married on Father's Day. And people are technically going to have their narratives about that. Let me know if you guys have any surrounding that. All right, so to the next one. This is normal. This is how numbers occur organically. I know y'all aren't used to that. And coming from, it's crazy that this fan base will call everyone else bots and then go on to themselves, do all these shenanigans, which are basically botting. If you're artificially inflating this album by putting this like sleep playlist together and playing it while you sleep, then that really isn't organic at all. That's as manufactured as it comes. All right, that's normal. Very few artists even reach 100 million monthly listeners, so Drake should be proud of the accomplishment regardless. And I absolutely agree there. All right, Drake lost over 1 million listeners, and I gained 36. Dude, you are hilarious. Better than losing 30 million listeners. And this person doesn't understand that obviously when you do something like the Super Bowl, Usher had the same effect. Every artist that does the Super Bowl is going to get that massive surge, and just people that don't even listen to that genre, they don't listen to that artist, but they like what they hear, and they're going to check out the rest of the catalog out of curiosity. Like, hey, dude, I like what I heard. Let me see what else is here. Alrighty.
That
in
is
Academics TV, you show again how dumb you are. Because this is just another example of you not getting your facts right. All right, so right here, these are in a billion. No one is getting 1 billion monthly listeners. So yeah, for you to say that the guy is losing close to 1 billion monthly listeners, you are absolutely redacted. All right, losing 1 million is normal fluctuations. Let us know if he suddenly loses 30 million to 40 million like Kendrick did last year. Again, Obviously, the Super Bowl boost is going to have a major, and the fact that Kendrick Lamar hasn't dropped any new music in like 2 years is also another reason. And he's still up at what, like 80 million monthly listeners is amazing. And the guy is doing it with half the catalog as Drake. So I would definitely say that's quite
And that, my friends, is why I say quality over quantity. Quality music will always get people to come back. Always.
the accomplishment, right? His fans that were replaying the album in the background 24/7 to boost his numbers saw he got to 100 million and then gave up. And the amount of Drake stands and Drake fans that are literally complaining about just being tired of streaming the project is definitely something to point to too. All right, bro really clocked in to report a 1% dip. That could have been from GP stream casuals who ain't hardcore playlist spins that fade with time. Fans take a breather like dude dropped 3 albums. And to you fam, if it really isn't a big deal, then it probably wouldn't warrant a response. Guess what? This is news, and we're going to cover the news whether you like it or not, and honestly, whether it's really big news or just like little shit like this. Obviously, to me, this was absolutely expected, but yeah, we're just reporting on the news. All right, let's get into the last one before we jump into the other clip. This is clear proof that he uses bots. Someday we'll know how this industry plant used bots to inflate numbers and billboards. There's nothing hidden under the sun. And guys, I did do a video where I covered literally just that. Now you don't even need to have this huge room or this huge warehouse of like devices constantly playing the streams because there's software now, which can now clone any location. So now these streams aren't all looking like they're coming from like India or Pakistan.
And if you guys want, the Vil actually covered this in his channel. I will go ahead and drop the Vil's video in there so that way you guys can see that. But if y'all see, the guy's talking about how he does it, what software, and who he does it for. And allegedly, Drake's 3 albums were being boosted. They were being botted. Allegedly, they were being boosted, and he was explaining the way that he did it on video. Y'all need to see that video. I recommend y'all seeing that video, and I will leave it in the description so that way you guys could see it. Crazy shit.
And or some like little town in Wyoming, guys, which definitely was really, really suspect. But if you think that Spotify isn't trying to find a way to curb this, I mean, Spotify is trying to stop the sleep playlisting and stuff like that so they don't have to count it, because at the end of the day, they are a business. These streaming companies, if they could, they wouldn't want to pay anybody. But at the end of the day, obviously you have to if you want to have that IP on there, because who's going to upload if they're not getting paid? So with that being the case, do you actually think that they're going to want to pay for these botted streams, for these sleep playlisted streams and stuff like that? Obviously not, right? Nobody listens to Drake, but somehow he's always on top of the charts. And this is a narrative that is so tired. No one ever said that the guy was just going to disappear. Only a crazy stan would believe that. I do feel like anyone with some actual common sense would have just seen that, yeah, obviously his reputation is going to take a hit. This where Kendrick, Drake fans would be saying he botted it. And yeah, they absolutely would. Anytime Kendrick Lamar does anything.
How many times last year did I make a video of people saying that Kendrick was botting? How many times last year did Vil make videos of people saying that Kendrick was botting? How many posts on Twitter were people talking about Kendrick botting, right? Y'all tell me. Leave it in the comment section. I saw it a lot. I saw that shit a lot.
Anything, they say he's botting it. Guy goes to Disneyland and they say it's AI. All right, here's that clip I was telling you about.
Oh,
Caption
shit.
hip-hop fans. And like I said earlier, at this point, I would really question that, because how could you say that and then have a take like this? All right, but he says that Kendrick Lamar dropping only 6 albums in 15 years disqualifies him from any Go Talk conversation when other artists in this lyrical lane have dropped more and better albums. All right, let's jump into this clip, guys.
I don't think most people would have thought that Kendrick would have took such a break after he had dropped all those albums. He had 3 albums from 2012 to 2018, and then you go on another 8-year run. He only put out another 2 albums. It's like,
And to me, those are pretty much all classic. Those projects not only had critical acclaim, but they were huge commercial successes.
Would you rather drop, right? Would you rather drop? Because you're saying that he dropped 2 albums in a span of 8 years. Would you rather have 8 albums that didn't have any thought, that didn't have any stories behind them? Would you rather have that over 2 classics? Y'all leave it in the comment section. Would you rather have that? To be honest with you, I'd rather have 2 albums that I could just play over and over and over, as opposed to 8 albums that were just put together because he wanted to fill his quota. Drake.
I mean, you still have Good Kid, Mad City charting still to this day.
I don't think most people like thought that's where he was going with his career. And then the fact that after Damn, he didn't drop, like, if he would have dropped 2 more masterpieces, I think it's nothing. That's where I think it shouldn't have been a conversation. I'm not asking Kendrick to drop 15 albums, even though like most of our top
I mean, you basically are.
artists of all time or rappers of all time has. That was like the range that they were at, around 15 albums, including mixtapes. It was plus 20 for a lot of those guys.
You don't need any of that McDonald's shit. And at the end of the day, who are we to dictate how or when an artist creates? I will say this, once that art does get put out for public consumption, it's not only open to the praise, but also the criticism.
Just dropped maybe 3 or 4. And if one of those would have been a masterpiece, another one of those would have been a classic. I think he starts to put himself in the conversation that's only the Drake.
Come on, fam. How could you actually take this GOAT conversation seriously when he got dog walked by the person you say shouldn't be in the GOAT conversation?
It's only the Wayne, it's only the Kanye. But I think he starts to fall short when you get past those.
So he named people, because Lil Wayne has, I was a huge Lil Wayne fan, but the guy definitely has some duds in his repertoire.
Those 3 albums. And even when you talk about To Pimp a Butterfly, like, I don't, like, people
Classic.
don't really love that album.
Man, that's probably like the best album sonically. This person obviously doesn't know music. And that's also one of those albums that also has a lot of West Coast influences. Something that a lot of Drake stans claim that Kendrick Lamar didn't do, that he didn't rap for the West Coast, and he didn't rap like the West Coast. Kendrick Lamar is unapologetically West Coast.
Oh, listen back at that shit. You're really living on the life of 2 albums. Good Kid, Mad City.
That's crazy.
And then you have 3 other projects that are cool, but nothing.
I can't listen to this. But I'm going to, because what in the world are you talking about? Go back and actually listen to it. And at what grade or curve what are you grading this shit on? You have to look at all of this and grade it on the curve that you grade Drake on. Grade this shit on the curve that you grade Drake on. Kendrick does have bangers. Go and listen. Till this day, N95 goes hard. What are you talking about? Swimming Pool, one of the best songs that I heard whenever Kendrick dropped it. What are you talking about? Money Trees, one of the best songs conceptually, in my opinion. Come on, what are you talking about?
To be like, I'm overly enthused about.
You could probably only argue that 2 to 3 of those Drake projects you can even argue would be a classic for him, because a lot of the other stuff are just like these long playlists. So this whole argument definitely implodes on itself.
I don't remember. I try to go back and I tried to listen to the Drake projects again. What I did this thing where I wanted to go back and be like, what was I thinking going back and listening to this Drake project? Like, what was I thinking going back in the day, and what made me think that these songs were good? I listen to them now and I'm like, can't believe I used to jam this shit. Was I asleep? Like, what the fuck? You know? The fuck? Was I asleep? The fuck?
Those other 3. And when we talk about artists like that, it's plenty of artists. I think Jeezy has 2 really great albums and then 3 other albums that are good. I think obviously J. Cole is like that. Big Sean is like.
Yo, fam, Big Sean has some dope records. Obviously, J. Cole is who he is, but you cannot put these people in the same category as a Kendrick Lamar. I'm sorry.
Meek Mill is like that. Rick Ross is like that. I can say 2 Chainz is like that. Like, it's
2
a
Chainz
lot
is
of
very
niggas
underrated.
out there where I could even say Nipsey. He has 2 really good like a masterpiece, a really good project, and then
R.I.P.
2 or 3 other like really good projects as well. So it's like that's a lot of artists in that echelon of like I put it closer to like a B+ level nigga as far as like how many masterpieces he has. Like, he has that 1 album, which a lot of niggas have that 1 album. His potential was always S tier, A tier, A+. Like, no one should have been able to touch his catalog. But when you really go back and look,
I want you guys in the comments to analyze this. All right, take these 6 Kendrick Lamar albums, right? And then take the 6 best Drake albums. And which projects do you guys think wins in a versus? Definitely, I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts on that.
That conversation is a lot more competitive than
easy. You don't even need to think about it. Like, if you I can't even think of the best 6 albums that Drake has, because I haven't even heard 6 Drake albums. Well, scratch that. I had to hear Iceman. So I guess that makes it 5 albums that I've heard. The fuck? Oh my God. I can't believe I heard that.
people would like to even imagine.
This guy compared Meek Mill with Kendrick Lamar. All right.
If we even was to talk about him versus Drake, brother, it's never been a conversation.
And if you really believe that, these stands wouldn't be bringing up Kendrick Lamar anytime they bring up Drake, because that's exactly what they do.
And that's facts. Because they talk about Kendrick more than they do Drake. They don't keep Kendrick out of their mouth. They keep, for some reason, whenever Drake dropped Iceman, all they would talk about was, oh, Kendrick can't do this. Oh, Kendrick can't eat this, Kendrick. You know, it's like, what the fuck? Instead of talking about the album, oh, this album was fire. This album, I like this album. No, y'all would talk about Kendrick, and that's all y'all kept talking about.
Anytime they do anything, they get compared to each other. So I can pretty confidently say that, yeah, obviously Kendrick Lamar deserves to be in that conversation. For a lot of you guys, he may already be the GOAT. Definitely let me know in the comments who you guys think is your GOAT as well. But I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are either going to say him. Maybe we'll get some Jay-Z's, but both those artists have better albums than these Drake projects. All right, so I'm not the only one pointing out the weak work ethic. This is a person that puts so much care and time and attention to detail into these projects, and that's absolutely the reason that they have the longevity that they have. And can you really
say that Kendrick doesn't have the work ethic when he's literally running PG Lang? He recorded 98 songs, and out of those 98 songs, he only dropped 10. He was in the studio recording, he was working on it, and he decided to choose 10 songs or 12. I don't remember how many songs GNX had, but he decided to only choose the best, I'm going to say 10, the best 10 songs out of the 98. So my question is it better to just make 10 songs and then here are my 10 songs? Or would you rather put time and effort into it? So how can you talk about a weak work ethic if the dude was in there for a whole year, for a whole 2 years, making an album? How is that a weak work ethic? Just because you're not getting the project doesn't mean that that person is not in the studio recording.
I believe this. When Kendrick Lamar has 2 of the most profitable hip-hop tours of all time, just because you're not dropping something doesn't mean you're not in the studio. So for you to...
And then not only that, YoEq just touched on this right now. YoEq touched on it just now. He was in the GNX tour. He went to I don't know how many countries. He went to Europe. He did the USA. He did Mexico. And then he did South America. So how is that a weak work ethic? How is this person not in the GOAT conversation? He made the most money doing stadium tours. Stadiums. And your GOAT cannot even do a fucking stadium tour. So these are weak conversations, the ones that you guys are having right here. You guys, of course, I know what you guys are trying to do. You guys are trying to keep your glorious king up here while you're trying to somehow bring Kendrick Lamar down here, but it's just not happening because results speak for themselves.
They try to spin their narrative that the guy has a weak work ethic when you in reality know nothing about Kendrick Lamar's work ethic is definitely hilarious. Instead of saying why Kendrick Lamar isn't, you should say why Drake is. And don't use numbers. Numbers are very important, but they shouldn't be the end-all, be-all metric. All right. Drake looks like one of his lookalikes now. Wild. It's crazy. Somebody said that these are the effects of getting off Ozempic. Let me know if you guys think that's true. That'd be crazy. And look at that. I actually saved this for the same reason as well. All right. Over here, we have the fake Drake getting pissed off for getting called fake Drake. And he says, nah, just call me John. But at the end of the day, if you're using Drake's literally whole identity to brand yourself, you cannot be surprised when people call you fake Drake. And look at you, dude. You are literally cosplaying as Drake. Just lean into it, dude. This guy even got booked on an event to literally pantomime Drake's record.
We got fake Drake in the building. What's the word? Call me John. John? Ain't that what you went for?
Dude, you cannot say call me John when you go out the house looking like this on purpose.
That wasn't the moniker? That wasn't that the...
That's what they gave him.
All right, respect. Julian. Respect, for sure. Nice to meet you, dog.
Be careful, he'll fold you up, pussy.
We got fake Drake.
Yeah, you cannot be mad when people are calling you fake Drake when you go out the house looking like Drake on purpose. Definitely a funny clip to end on. Let me know what you guys think about Drake losing 1 million listeners in a day, obviously off of his monthly listeners. It definitely wasn't a surprise for me, especially if you really know how those numbers work, how they fluctuate, and why they fluctuate. And I do expect those numbers to slip, even if it's a little more. But definitely let me know in the comments if you guys think there could have been other factors at play. Again, like the botting and stuff like that. But that could also be lumped into, yeah, all the botting took place early on, obviously during the release to make the most impact. So definitely let me know what you guys think. Also,
Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. YoEq, as always, beast. He's a beast in this shit. Y'all. So my final thoughts. I think that I definitely think that Kendrick should be in the GOAT conversation. There's no doubt about it. Just listen to his catalog. The dude has everything that you're looking for. He has love songs. He has stories. He has breakup songs if you're looking for that. He has everything that you're looking for. He's an all-around artist, and he does his own music. He puts time and effort into everything that he does. So yes, I personally do believe that Kendrick should be in that GOAT conversation. There aren't that many artists nowadays that do that, or that put in the time and effort into making their own music. A lot of shit is handed to them. Number two, Drake losing 1 million listeners. There could be a lot of factors. I do believe that my personal opinion, allegedly, I do think that he is botting. There are a lot of instances and people that are coming out and speaking on this. So, but until it's proven, you can't say that it's not alleged. But until that happens, it's alleged, right? But my personal opinion, I personally think that yes, he is doing. Let's see. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, share with your family and friends, and also go ahead and hit that hype button for me. Hit that noti bell as well, wherever the fuck that is. Go ahead and hit that hype button. It'll definitely put me and reach in the algorithm. This has been your boy Jtomreactions. I am out this bit. Ya tu sabes. You guys already know. Let's fucking go. Yeah, Kendrick does need to be in that GOAT conversation. Definitely. He's one of the GOAT.